Yo, what's going on? I'm David. I'm just a dad. I'm out here trying to help you guys become the best dads ever. And today's video is going to be covering the basic topic of low intensity training, why I love low intensity trainings, why I really suggest it for beginners to develop an aerobic base, um, some anecdotes about how it's fit into my current lifestyle and routines, and how this all transpired from a conversation that I had last night with my good friend over a few nice steaks. So yeah, last night I was with my good friend. We're having some steaks, enjoying our time together, catching up, talking about family, talking about fitness. And he told me he had a run scheduled and that he had committed to later on this year, and he was kind of worried because he hasn't been running, and it's daunting to kind of get on that horse, not knowing what you need to do to develop that base. And I've seen so many people pick up a sport, whatever it may be, right? Whether it's basketball, pickleball, tennis, at a later age, and then develop an injury. Um, so I told him low intensity is the way to go. And while it may not be everything that you need to focus on, in the beginning stages, it should be the cornerstone that you focus on. And why do I say that? In our heads, what we perceive as the biggest limiter into improving our performance is usually time or effort. We always say that, hey, like, I don't have time to go and run. I don't have time to do extra cardio on top of my current weightlifting program. I don't have time to run 3, 4 times a week on top of everything else I already need to do, like the gym or sports. I don't have time, right? It's not easy to do a long run weekly. Um, but the actual limiter, what's really holding us back is consistency. What if I told you you didn't need to run that long 6, 7 mile run to develop your aerobic base? That if you only accumulated 30 minutes every single day for a week, that would get you over 3 hours of running. And that would get you close to 10 miles at a very slow pace, a very easy controlled pace that I think a lot of you guys, a lot of beginners can achieve. And guess what? That consistency allows you to be on your feet and rack up mileage and be consistent more than doing that long run, and is less daunting. It gives you less chances of injury, and it gives you a better chance of consistency because you're going to be able to recover well. You're not going to feel burnt out. You're not going to feel intimidated by the length or the intensity. So you'll get out the door day after day and get it done. So, with running, there are a lot of new techniques. If you've been kind of tapped into the space, a lot of people have talked about zone 2 cardio. If you've been in the running space for a little bit longer, there's stuff called the Maffetone running method and the Carvoven zone 2 method, all of which is just a calculation of your heart rate. Lower than zone 2 or at zone 2, right? So it's just a different word for different jargon for low heart rate training, and you know how it fits into my current training schedule now. Obviously, I'm doing a 30-day nutrition challenge where I try to do zone 2 cardio every day in the morning, fasted. But I found that for my running block leading up to my 10K run last month, while I did have 1 or 2 speed sessions where I work on my 400s and my 800s, and while I did know my max 1 mile pace and my 5K pace, most of my training block was easy runs where I just focused on staying healthy, preventing injuries, preventing sickness, preventing burnout, and just accumulating consistency. Consistent days where I'm on my feet and I'm running. I don't worry about my pace. I don't worry if my training partners or my running group run faster than me. It doesn't matter if we do the same 6 mile run day and they have a faster 1 mile pace over the run than me. It did not matter to me. And I was able to prove that by placing top 10% in my age group, in my gender group, in a recent 10K out in LA. And I was proud of myself. Why? Because I'm not a runner. I run recreationally. I run as a supplement on top of my lifting, on top of my strength program. I run just to be well-rounded, to be healthy, to be fit as a dad, to have unlimited energy. And I did this while still being on a strength cycle where I'm hitting PRs on my squat, still hitting PRs on my bench, and I'm actually gaining weight. I am not at the optimal weight to be running the paces that I want to be running, but it didn't matter because I felt great. I felt refreshed. I felt fresh. I feel strong. I feel full of energy. I don't feel depleted. And as a dad, as a father, I find myself full of energy. I can run my long runs in the morning, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles, and carry on with the rest of the day and not feel fatigued, not feel like I'm too sore, not feel like I need to ice my leg. Look, guys, I'm also a part of a CrossFit style fitness group, and I see this happen so often. Obviously, the workouts in our metabolic conditioning is very strenuous, very high intensity, very demanding. And when the week is programmed where you have back-to-back consistent days of these high intensity training, it is so easy to fall off the wagon and be so sore that you can't commit to it day in and day out. It is the beginners that often fall off. And that just harps on consistency being the biggest limiter in improving. Currently in this 30-day nutrition challenge, I've seen a lot of new faces show up for workouts because they are trying to find ways to incorporate more training sessions to bolster their nutrition goals, their physique goals. But I also see that, hey, they joined this workout session, and if you're not up to par with your fitness levels, it will feel too strenuous, you'll feel too sore, you won't have great recovery, and then it's hard to show up the next day. It's hard to show up the day after. Or they get injured, or they feel too intimidated. And that just takes away from the consistency that you need to be building. I've had days where I've done Murph and I couldn't recover quickly enough, and it felt like I kind of wasted my day with my family, right? So I've had those days, I've had those instances, and it's not enjoyable. It's not something I strive to do. There's no valor or honor in feeling so sore and low energy, and but those days are bound to happen when your intensity levels are so high, right? Like, in lieu of that, I added running into my regimen, and I focused on low intensity work to develop an aerobic base. And I found that, just running slow, but running consistently and just slowly ramping up over time, not the intensity level, but the time on feet, that I was able to really maximize my aerobic base. And I feel like my recovery is a lot faster. And again, everything I pointed out to, you're able to protect your body from burnout, from fatigue, and from injuries. And that gives you the edge, which is the ability to be consistent and to build those good habits and to do it day in and day out. Look, so if you guys are beginners, I urge you guys to, one, have fun in what you're doing, find the joy in it so you're able to drag yourself out of the deep end and do it day in and day out. But two, drop your ego out the door, lower the intensity level. Nobody gives a shit if you're running slow. Nobody gives a shit if you are jogging at a snail's pace. The fact that you're out there doing it every single day, building that consistency, building that habit is going to get you a lot further down the line. Nobody wants you to get injured in the first week of training, and then you have to recover from a torn hammy a few months later. And then a few months later, seasons change, and you don't have that willpower to get back up on that horse and get back on that training track again, right? Like, lower the intensity level, be consistent, drop your ego out the door, have fun. Till the next time, guys, once again, I'm David. I'm so appreciative for you guys tuning in. Till the next time, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.